Hello, brothers and sisters. Today I want to talk to you about one of Jesus' last words on the cross. Today, you shall be with me in paradise. You know, when we think of that, let's just take a look back and see what was happening before Jesus Christ said those words. Prior to that, the enemy was on a mission. He had not only destroyed the lives of these two people that ended up on the cross with Christ, the two condemned thieves, but he had also seemingly destroyed the life of one of the worst thieves in the area, Barnabas. And then by no redemption, in fact, by even a further illegal act, help him find his life back for doing all the wrong things. The enemy was on a mission. He was determined on destroying Christ. So, this is what was happening, leading to Christ's crucifixion. So here we find Judas, the Pharisees, even Pontius Pilate, whose wife told him, "Hey, don't do anything with this person because I just had a terrible dream about him," and all of them had joined together to again affect Satan's plan. But you know, the Bible says if Satan had known the wisdom of God, he would not have crucified Christ. So while the enemy thought he was busy destroying Christ, what he didn't realize was he was affecting God's plan for Christ and for mankind. So as we look at the last words, today you will be with me in paradise, I also want to ask the question, whose report would you believe? So with Christ, with the enemy having done all these things, God has separated himself from Christ because God cannot deal with sin, and Christ has now taken on the sins of the world. And in the midst of all that, in the midst of all this, you had one thief that said, you are supposedly this great man, you save others, but yourself you cannot save. God brings out truth through the mouth of a condemned thief that says, "Father, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus responds to him, "Today you shall be with me in paradise." Whose report will you believe? The report of the enemy? All the chips are stacked against you. The situation looks hopeless. There is redundancy built in. It seems like the enemy has laid up layers upon layers upon layers, so that even if you're able to get out of one, you end up still in the same place. That's where the thief, this was the final chapter for him. But remember, Christ told a story about the master who had work, and he went out looking for workers. The Bible tells us that he brought in workers at an agreed upon wage. And as the day proceeded, he kept bringing on workers. Even to the final hour of the work, he was bringing in new people. Come time to pay them, he paid them all the same wage. And the ones that had been there all day started getting antsy and upset that why should we all make the same amount of money given the fact that we've been working all day and these guys just came. But that's the kind of God we serve. He asked them, he said, when I contracted with you, did you feel that it was a fair wage? Weren't you happy with the wage? And they said yes. So why are you complaining now? This thief had all the chips against him. And yet, I believe Christ wanted us to hear this story, to see this circumstance, this situation, to know that that's the kind of love that will leave 99. If you have, he said, if you have 100 and one goes astray, 100 sheep, he will leave the 99 to go after the one. It is never too late for you, brother. It is never too late for you, sister. You may be going through some things and you may think this is the end of the road. You may even be wanting to throw in the towel. I'm here to tell you today that it is never too late. Whose report are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the enemy's report, or are you going to believe Jesus' report? To look to him and live, to look to him and know that as long as your situation is in his hand, it doesn't matter what hour it is, it doesn't matter how bad and how bleak the situation is, he is in control. Jesus showed that he was in control even at the dying thief, with the dying thief on the cross next to him. He showed him, even when he was himself being crucified, going through the worst thing he could ever go through for our freedom, going through our condemnation to set us free. He showed that he was still Christ, he was still in control. And he said to the thief, today you shall be with me in paradise. Today, turn your situation over to Jesus and he'll say to you, today I have full control. I've got you. You're my son. I love you. Just hand it all over to me. God bless you.